Before we begin this episode, a quick message to the CHC audience.
We would like to invite you to check out another podcast that we enjoy.
Hi, this is Dan.
And this is Taylor.
And we are Dan and Taylor of the You Watch, I Listen podcast. The movies you need to see.
The albums you need to hear.
And the bullshit nonsense banter you never knew you needed. Join us each week as we break down movies,
music,
and every other thing you needed to know from the world of movies, music, video games, politically correct culture, and everything else in between. Visit us at YouWatchIListen.com.
And follow us on all forms of social media, as well as we're on Apple, iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're everywhere we need to be.
And you can find us again at YouWatchIListen.com. Facebook, Twitter. Join us, join the laughs, and join the bullshit.
Let you in on an aspect of the world that you're not normally accustomed to.
I could have been a totally different person.
Yeah, right now.
Since 12 hours ago.
Could have been wearing a business suit today. Who knows?
With a fanny pack.
With a fanny pack. Just classing up the joint.
That's a fantastic idea.
It's the only kind of ideas I have, sir.
It's Corner House Chronicles Day.
It's just different enough.
And here's the kicker, boss. They're all the same personality.
They're assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 1.5 million asshole penguins.
Best part.
I'm going to try and pace it out, so just as you forget about me, I'll just pop in and remind you.
Welcome back, everybody, to Corner House Chronicles. This is episode 77. I'm John.
I'm Jason.
Hello.
Did you forget?
It's been a while.
Did anybody forget about him?
Remember, I'm just popping in here
There
and there.
you are. Welcome back, sir. It's a pleasure.
Figure I had to get in before episode 100.
That's a good place to start. I had an idea for episode 100.
Does it involve a hot air balloon?
No.
I'm not in.
Where we're headed on a weekly basis, it's
Yeah.
going to be roughly October
Octubre?
when we hit 100.
Halloween-ish?
I'm thinking
or...
Michigan State football game.
Ooh.
Like a companion podcast, right? Where we do our own play-by-play. We all sit around, have a good time, watch the game. That could be cool.
Should do it in Frankenmuth, too.
Why Frankenmuth?
Why Frankenmuth? Oh.
You want some fudge
I mean,
or
we
something?
go to Ann Arbor at least.
Oh, I was thinking Oktoberfest, Frankenmuth, beer, brewery.
Okay, I didn't think about that. That's good. It's going to be a good time for beer.
When isn't a good time for beer? That's a solid question.
IPA season.
Oh, that's fair.
Just for 2/3 of us anyways.
Well, yeah. Some freaks out there like that stuff.
Either that or the poker game. I'd still like
Yeah,
to do a
a
poker
live-
game
That would be fun.
while
It's an
doing a
interesting
show.
concept.
Yeah, because the conversations we have playing poker are sometimes
Pretty
priceless,
solid. And I think that's the only way we can get some of those people onto the podcast.
The biggest
At the same
issue
time.
you're
Yeah.
going to have is chip.
clink, clink.
All
The ripples of the
chip-
ship.
Oh, it's just...
I thought about that. The like shuffling chips, okay, whatever. Not everybody can do that. So it'll be isolated. The chips hitting the table is going to be the main noise. We put a towel or like a tablecloth or something down.
To
you
kind
know,
of help mute that.
yeah, absorb the sound a little bit.
The one issue I see is the table talk. So while the hand's going on and other people are like, yeah, so there it was last Tuesday telling a story. Then you hear, off in the background because somebody just lost a hand and the recapping.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
probably
could
not that
be
big
troublesome.
of a deal, but
What I don't know. I'm visualizing all of us sitting around playing poker. Like we could be doing it right now.
We could.
you know, between the three of us. So, Aaron,
Test run?
Aaron has money on the table already. That's how serious it is.
We're going to pause for station identification while we get some chips.
Right. Actually, they're not here.
Oh.
Yeah. So just an idea. Think about it. You know,
It's gotta be
as we
something big.
Creep through the summer.
yeah, we got some time.
I want to slow summer down as much as possible. We got super excited last episode because we didn't need the heater.
Yeah.
You hear that?
That's the heater in the back.
The heater in the background again. Damn Mother Nature. I should have known it was coming, though. Tomorrow's opening day.
Baseball. Yeah.
Yep. In Detroit. Mm-hmm.
I have not been following it at all. Closest I've gotten to following baseball is rewatching Moneyball.
It counts. It counts for something anyways.
You could call that a build-up.
So you have confidence in these here Tigers this year, I hear, from another podcast.
I do.
Wow.
I do.
Good for you, buddy.
It was more just to get a gamble going.
Ah.
But yes, I do have confidence in them because nobody else does.
What do you have?
I got, let's see, I got the Tigers going over 500.
That's bold.
How much is
Each bet's $10.
Each bet's $10.
I got 2 people on the hook for the Tigers bet. I got 2 people on the hook for Lions going above 500 this season.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
I know, right? Pepper needs new shorts. I got 1 person for the Bears over the Lions in the division. I have the field. He has the Bears. Mainly,
That's pretty solid.
Mainly Bears and Lions, but
That's pretty solid.
you
though.
know. And then I took the Pistons in the first round of the playoffs, just because they're actually going to make the fucking playoffs.
That's a
And
solid maybe, depending on injury and shit.
they're lining up against the 76ers as we speak, but there's still, I think, 2 games left in the season. You know
already-
who's not going to be in the playoffs? LeBron James. Suck it. I hope Space Jam 2 sucks.
He's not my king.
You want any more action on any of those?
Sure.
All right, I'll take all of them.
All of them?
All of them.
Okay. You like the Bears, really? Or you just want to gamble?
Just taking all of them against you.
That's fair. I accept
He
that.
likes those odds.
Yeah. Well, the Tigers, that's not a bad bet because there's so many fucking games. All they got to
There
do
are,
is end
but-
up 83 and 81, and I win the bet.
They haven't been.
500's a push in that one. This one,
500's a push?
500's a push in the Tigers, but not the Lions.
Okay.
Because technically in these bets, I have 8 wins and up, and they have 7 wins and low. You know,
I mean,
so if it goes 8 and 8, I win this bet.
that's true.
If this one goes 82 and 82 or 81 and 81, then we push. So,
That's fair.
and again, it was just something to keep me interested all summer
It helps,
in sports.
especially if those people actually pay off the bet.
I was warned when I said I'm going to take all this money from him. He was like, "Yeah, ask Aaron," and then we had a good laugh.
Shit.
Shout out Guido.
You'll be paid before I die.
2040 is a
Right.
good year.
Actually, I was like, "Will Trump still be president when you pay me, or no?"
He just smiled, folks.
He did smile because he thinks Bernie's going to win.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You should put money on that?
I'm going to.
Okay.
I want to make sure Bernie's the nomination first.
That's smart.
Actually, that could
Well,
just
no,
be a
they-
second bet.
Yeah.
So 2016 was the last time they had above 500 season.
Who?
Tigers.
Yeah.
That just means last
Sounds
season
about
they
right.
didn't do it.
Nobody's expecting anything from the Tigers.
No,
Nobody
no.
at all.
Well, again, it's the whole rebuilding
Right.
5-year plan or whatever
Right.
it is.
But so far, they've been playing good baseball.
yeah, they play solid, but they're not.
They're either 3-2 or 2-2. I can't remember. I don't know how many games they've actually played, but their starting pitching is number 1 in baseball right now.
Well, it's preseason, so I mean.
No, it's real season, but it's only 4 or 5 games into
Oh.
the season.
I thought
so
it was still preseason.
no, they started last Thursday in Toronto,
Well, excuse me.
and now they're in New York, and then they come home to open against whoever. I don't know. Whatever. The Lions bets are just to talk shit, basically. You know,
Yeah. Of
it's
course.
football.
Well, I mean, you get, according to the last few years, you're a little bit better there. Last year, was their first year under 500. 16, 17, they were above 500.
Yeah, but not like a lot.
Doesn't matter.
That's
Bet
true.
says 500.
Well, no, like I said, the Lions bet I have 8 and 8 and up. They have 7 and 9 and down. So if I just wrote 500 for lack of room on the board, that's all.
Yeah, no.
Whatever. Just want to be specific in case you really want to take the bet.
Oh, yeah, you can put them on
Okay,
the board.
good. Okay,
He doesn't kid about that.
it's on the board. You guys gonna pay my house payment?
Yeah.
Or at least my DTE bill.
Don't worry, I'll give it to you with that case of beer.
All right, enough bullshit. Let's get into our homework.
There we go.
We had 2 different homeworks,
We did.
2 different assignments.
One for the wheel,
The wheel. Yep.
and we both got Florida Man.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to try to one-up each other with our stories.
Do you have a Florida man story you'd like to look up, or would you like to be the judge?
I didn't bring shit but the beer.
Okay, so you be the judge.
Which I
Which
seem
Florida
to have taken
man?
most of.
Good. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. And then we have the fantasy cast
Yes.
of the 5 actors or actresses, or whatever combination thereof.
Okay. Which one do you want to go first in?
I'll go first with Florida Man.
Okay. Which one do you want to hear first, Aaron? Florida man or our
Sure.
cast? Pick one.
I'll go Florida man.
All right. You go first in Florida man.
All right. So this was from 4 days ago. So a Florida man was accused of killing 2 people and attempting to eat a man's face, who was one of the 2 people he killed, because he believed that he was half man and half dog.
Wow.
This doesn't make much sense. If it was half man, half cat, then you're like, yeah, maybe he was looking for some Chinese offshoot, you know?
But revenge. So, this young 22-year-old man named Austin had been charged with killing a man and his wife in their home in Martin County. Investigators said that during the attacks, he bit the man's face while making growling sounds. The couple was beaten, stabbed during the bizarre attack that happened in their garage. So, before you comment, there's more to this. So, Mr. Austin, his last name is Haroof, I don't know how to properly say it, persisted in biting the male victim in the presence of police officers, in spite of being shot, tased, and receiving multiple kicks to the head.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
We don't know it was cocaine. So, Dr. Philip Resnick of the University Hospitals of Cleveland wrote a report and says it is quite assured that this man's activity was psychotic in nature.
So, for clarification,
Yeah.
the Austin guy bit them because he thought he was half man, half dog?
So he beat and stabbed this couple to death, and then when in the presence of the police to defend his quote-unquote kill, he started gnawing on the man's face.
So he thought he was...
He thought he was half man and half dog, and this is why he did it.
I thought he
killed the guy
victims
because
were half man, half
You're a fucking werewolf, you son of a bitch!
What was his last name?
Haroof. It's like Harrouff. Exactly.
It's like, I got to think of something quick. Haroof, I'm half dog.
Doesn't that feel like a defense, like in court before you're even in cuffs?
Well, they
like
said
you
that-
thought like I'm gonna just
Well, the
plead
police said he was
crazy.
growling and barking at him while chewing at the man's face, even
Gotta
though
be
he was
drugged.
shot, tased, and the cops were kicking him in the head.
Fucking A, dude. Bath salts.
Bath salts are a hell of a
Fentanyl.
drug. You
That's
name
on
it.
something, man.
Smoking a Jeffrey.
Fucking Florida.
What do you
Holy
got?
Shit. Well, I don't. That's the second
beat
show,
the Minotaur over
the
there.
second show in a row where you had a story about somebody getting fucking killed in Florida, man. That's
But
crazy.
That's why we don't go to Florida.
That's one reason.
That is one reason.
Okay.
Hurricanes are the other.
Let's see. Mine was from yesterday.
Young girl stabs cop at lemonade stand.
Florida man arrives in stolen Jeep to look for his cell phone. A Florida man allegedly drove a stolen Jeep back to the scene of his crime recently to ask if anybody found his missing cell phone.
How'd that work out for him?
Apparently, the cell phone was pinging back to the residence when 25-year-old Ronnie Dylan Willis, 3 names, there's a fucking, right off the
you done
bat.
fucked up.
Yep, okay. Ronnie Dylan Willis arrived at the home of the victim on March 24th.
I like
in
to
the
call him Rondo.
Tan Jeep Patriot. He was greeted by none other than the sheriff, who was there conducting an interview about stolen vehicle.
I got your phone. Give it back.
I may have left some evidence here. Anyone seen it?
Can you describe the vehicle? Yeah, it's the one pulling in the driveway.
The deputy, who probably could not believe the way this call was unfolding, arrested Ronnie for grand theft of a motor vehicle. She also charged him with driving while license was suspended because it turns out his license was suspended. The vehicle was taken earlier in that day. The victim told the deputy he woke up. One of the victim's vehicles that morning was missing. Wow. So you stole a car from a house, and then you went back to the house to look for your missing cell phone.
Leave no traces of evidence behind.
Well, yeah, but going back to the residence is the biggest trace of evidence of all. You could be like, my cell phone was stolen at Starbucks, and somebody dropped it in this yard when they were stealing a car.
He panicked.
Oh, absolutely. Idiot. She did not know the Willis or give him permission to drive the Jeep, the owner told the sheriff. She did recognize the suspect to the same subject who was walking around the street earlier when she left to go to the mall. So he was walking around on foot, casing a neighborhood, stole a car, and then went back to look for the cell phone while the cops were there. Now, if you were driving down the street in a stolen vehicle, headed in the direction of the place you stole the vehicle from, and you come around the corner and there's a fucking sheriff car sitting in front of the house, I mean...
Act normal. Just act normal.
Right. If anything, you're just going to drive past and hope they don't realize that the victim's like, there goes my car.
Worst part is, he's over there like, picking the lock, hot wiring it, and he's like, fuck, I need both hands. Let me set my phone down on their flower pot.
Flashlight on. Set it over here on the curb and just back away. The flashlight's still on. Son of a bitch.
He's setting it up to record it. It's all Facebook Live. And then he leaves, and he's like, oh, shit.
Idiots.
I got to see how many viewers I had.
Idiots. Oh, right. My shit's still live. I would say his friend called him, but his phone was still at the scene. It didn't say if he found the phone or not. I don't know. Obviously, if the cops were using it, if it was pinging, it was there, but...
Rookie mistake.
Don't do drugs, folks.
Or go to Florida.
So?
I think Dogman.
Dogman wins, yeah.
A roof.
He did eat people.
Yeah. And with a name... he's a Dogman with a last name of Haroof.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pronounce that?
His nickname in high school was Elpo.
Oh, man.
Oh, gross. Does it make you want to go to Florida?
No, it does
not. Not at all?
At all.
Just a witness from afar?
I've been there once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. You been there too?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I don't get out much.
Well,
Family trip.
I think I'd rather go to Vegas before I go to Florida.
I concur.
Yeah.
probably wise.
Might be cheaper to go to Florida, though. Although, either place could die. By some crazy circumstance, right?
This is true. I think you'd have a very
Be more
interesting
fun
story
in Vegas.
You'd have more fun in Vegas.
I don't know about an interesting story.
Oh.
I'm not wrestling gators in Vegas, that's for sure.
Never.
You don't know that, yeah.
Fingers crossed I wouldn't be wrestling them in Florida either, but, you know. All right. Stage 2 of our homework.
Boom, boom, boom.
So the premise was the penguin thing, right?
Well, I think we switched it to hunting Bigfoot. I think we had an option.
Oh, okay. Well, either way.
Either way.
The cast.
The cast.
And you wanted to go bizarro with it, right? That was what you said. You were like,
I did.
Make it,
Interesting.
oddball, if anything.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't assign my actors and actress to their specific roles in the movie.
Neither did I.
Who's the leader and everything. But once you hear the 5, you'll know who the fucking leader is. For sure. Because no questions. But first up, I got Russell Brand.
Okay, that's solid.
I think he can be extremely offensive in a scripted way. Especially get him to the Greek. That was a great role.
Was really good.
He was pretty good in that.
All the snow.
His companion in the movie, like his go-to for comedy, would be Vince Vaughn. I think it would make for a good tag team there.
All right.
The female role I cast was Melissa McCarthy.
I like it.
She seems pretty loud and obnoxious. It could make for a good role. The right hand to the leader is going to be Joey motherfucking Diaz.
Motherfucking doctor.
Right. I just think
like
letting him go for a little bit would be a pretty good movie. And then, without claiming he's the leader of the group, for obvious reasons, Mr. Chuck Norris.
Ooh.
Because I need one level head
this
in the
is true.
group, right? You got the two over here making jokes, the chick's going nuts, and Joey Diaz, you can't cage that kind of intensity. Chuck Norris is trying to gather the troops and push through for Bigfoot.
So that's all right. I think I like yours.
It's not crazy oddball, but it's odd
solid
enough.
Yeah.
And right before we started recording, I said I'd like to put Jason Bateman in there.
Yeah.
I was thinking take Russell Brand out, but that would put Bateman and Vince Vaughn together, and they've done enough movies together
This
where
is
I'm
true.
like,
Yeah.
it's going to be too the
Seen
same,
that, yeah.
right? So I guess I could take Vince Vaughn out if I really want, but no, I'm going with Vince Vaughn. So I like his humor.
So for mine,
Uh-huh.
I thought of two competing groups that come together to go after Bigfoot or come together to go after the penguins, depending on which scenario is more applicable.
It's like two storm chasing teams chasing the same tornado. I like it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So one is comprised of a father and son duo.
Okay.
The son is the more leader, and he becomes the leader of both groups. And I have Mr. Dolph Lundgren.
As the son?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
His father would be played by Danny DeVito.
I like it.
And there'd be, comments, I don't know, like, yeah, that's my fucking kid. Look
Right.
at him.
He carries his dad around on his shoulder.
If need be. Who knows? But I thought it'd
Or
be
in
a
a
funny
backpack.
dynamic because, Dolph Lundgren's a smart motherfucker.
Right.
And Danny DeVito's Danny DeVito. And
Yeah.
I could not put him in
True.
my list.
True.
And the other group is a more, I don't want to say ragtag, but just a group of common-minded people
Okay.
led by Jason Bateman,
Okay.
because I had to put him in mine.
Right.
It's funny as shit.
That's good. He's represented here.
The elder wise man of their group is Bill Murray,
Okay.
and Aubrey Plaza rounds out the cast.
Don't tell me. Tell me. Where's she from?
She's married to Burt Macklin of the FBI,
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Soon to be the mom in Chucky.
Yep. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
What's her real name?
Aubrey Plaza.
Okay, so her name in the show is April.
April Ludgate.
Yeah, okay. I got the names mixed up.
That
Yeah,
happens.
no. Yeah. I'm a fan of hers. I thought Jenna, what's her name from The Office? Jenna
Fisher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about her, but I was like, I don't know. I wanted somebody over the top. I was going to say Roseanne.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So wait, you got Bill Murray,
Yeah.
Danny DeVito,
Yep.
and Dolph Lundgren in the same group.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting there.
I figured that Dolph Lundgren would be the straight-laced, intellectual adventurer. Danny DeVito's his dad, who was just like, "What the fuck are you doing, kid?"
So it's like him and Schwarzenegger and twins.
A little bit,
That
a
kind
little bit
dynamic,
of that,
right?
But more of like
Father son.
he's all for anything his son has done ever. He's just the supporting dad who's kind of an asshole
Yeah,
to everyone else.
that's not bad.
Bill Murray's Bill Murray.
Yep.
Jason Bateman does his thing,
Mm-hmm.
and Aubrey Plaza does hers. I think that would be pretty solid.
And then your group and my group meet in the sequel.
There you
And they
go.
fight it out for world dominance.
And it turns out Roseanne,
She's
In-
the referee.
she was behind the whole thing.
She was the conspirator
She
behind
just
all
set
of it.
everything up.
I like that.
Yeah.
Poor Roseanne. Who you think had the better cast?
Oh, you're gonna make him think.
Oh,
You
man.
know, he's been over there making facial expressions every
What-
time we say an actor.
What movie
or
based
actress.
off the cast would you want to see? I mean, Chuck Norris is Chuck Norris.
yeah,
Let's not downplay that.
It's tough because you're looking at an all-star cast on either side.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to see the scripts.
What's the trailer look
location,
like?
setting?
Who's the directors?
Plot. Ooh, we didn't
yeah,
pick
we
a
didn't even-
director.
yeah.
That's a that. Hey,
That's
homework.
a key.
Homework. Yeah, all right.
Unless you can come up with it
So-
on the fly.
I can.
Whoa. Who?
Ivan Reitman.
Okay. I probably should have seen that coming.
Ghostbusters.
Just because of Bill Murray,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That connection. That's
You
solid.
got one on the fly?
I would probably go with Jeff Tremaine, just because he's in the news for doing that new Motley Crue movie
All right.
as director. I don't know who I'd have write the script.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hopefully
yeah,
me.
There you go.
Well, I think I lean towards John's. Director definitely, I think, swayed it. I just have concerns with too many comedians.
Mhm.
Not that they can't do roles that are non-comical.
This is true.
I think just offhand, that's where I lean.
Plus it's Joey motherfucking Diaz.
I-
Come on.
Yeah, that's hard.
I mean,
Okay.
Cool. Now we got to spin the wheel.
Well, I have a quick story to add on to this.
Yeah,
Well,
we don't have to do it right this minute.
Well, we still
just
have
for
to.
next episode.
This is true. So while doing a little bit of research, looking up the people, I found a new movie coming out.
Okay.
It's called The Dead Don't Die.
Yeah, it's a zombie movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
I can't remember who's in it.
Oh, I'm going to read you the cast because it made me think of our little contest here.
Oh, it's like that.
So starring is Bill Murray,
Okay. Yeah.
Adam Driver. He played the bad guy in Star Wars, Kylo Ren. Tall, weird-looking dude.
Okay.
If I showed you a picture, you'd be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
All right. Let's get that out of the way now.
Oh, that dude. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Then we got Tilda Swinton. Have you ever see Constantine?
Yes.
She was the Archangel, trying to organize the whole thing.
The one that gets her wings cut off at the end.
Yeah.
She was in the beach with DiCaprio.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
but
that's
yes.
a good fucking movie.
All
Yeah.
right.
I know, right? I've seen it. You're looking at me like, wait, a movie?
I don't know.
John's movie review has taken over for movie homework because that's more rare.
Steve Buscemi,
Oh, shit.
Selena Gomez,
Okay.
Tom Waits,
Okay.
Carol Kane, in Scrooged.
Yep.
She
okay.
was the fairy lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Danny Glover,
Wow.
Yeah, he's too old for this shit.
I know, right?
Rosie Perez,
Okay.
Iggy Pop.
He's got to play a zombie.
He does.
Okay.
RZA,
Okay. He's probably doing the soundtrack.
and there's a couple lesser names, but
So, okay, wait. Is Bill Murray the star?
him and Adam Driver are the leads.
Isn't he in Zombieland, though?
He is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And supposedly he's in Zombieland too.
All right. So he's really getting out there in the zombie movies.
Hey.
Somebody got a hold of his voicemail.
Oh yeah, apparently. He read a script and went, "Yeah, why not?"
Sound like you read 2 or 3 of them. It's been busy, huh? Is he reported in the new Ghostbusters movie or what?
There's very little news,
Yeah.
but it's rumored that he's going to make an appearance.
I saw they signed some like a child actress.
Yeah,
From Pet Cemetery.
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's the girl from the new Pet Cemetery.
Okay. I saw they signed her. That was at least reported. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, and, Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman, who's doing the latest Ghostbusters, keeping pretty decent lid on things,
Good.
which is that little teaser trailer they put out was it gave me goosebumps. It was nice.
So we're talking about movies and trailers.
Yeah.
We just watched the Joker trailer.
We did.
Thoughts? I know.
Aaron's more vocal about his. It's
Okay.
a Scorsese movie, and on that fact, it does look great. But from a comic book standpoint, I'm skeptical.
Okay.
Much for the same reasons Aaron is, but I think Aaron is further along that road than I am.
Yeah.
More of a purist.
Definitely more of a purist. The biggest concern I have is part of the enigma and the
Allure.
yeah, definitely of the Joker is the unknowing. He's just the Joker.
Right.
Where'd he come from? No
Right.
one knows. Who is he? No one knows. He's just that crazy, chaotic psychopath throughout all the comic books,
Right.
throughout the movies. Some of them have tried to kind of give a little bit of the history, like Joe Chill, and dabble in it. This one is like a full-on
Backstory.
origin.
Yeah.
And part of what makes him unique compared to any other villain is you don't know. It's just he's the Joker.
And even Batman, the greatest detective, doesn't know.
Now, in defense, does Batman know where any of the other villains
Yeah.
came from? Okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you guys know I
The
don't.
vast
I don't do
majority of them, yeah.
Yeah.
because in the movies they don't tell you.
No.
Except for Catwoman and Batman Returns, they kind of gave us a little
hint of-
where
Right, yeah.
where she started, you know, and then jumped right into the fray. But
Which I don't even think followed the comic books.
Not really,
no,
to my knowledge.
But going by the comic books, yes, he knows the
Like
the
Two-Face, he knew
origins.
Harvey Dent and how he switched.
That's
Riddler,
true. I
he
forgot
knew
about that
him.
one.
Yep.
Catwoman, he knows.
Right.
He knows the vast majority.
Cobblepot.
Clayface,
Dr. Freeze. Like,
Right.
all of them. But that's why the Joker is the best villain, and his arch nemesis is he doesn't understand him. He doesn't know.
he's not predictable.
And part of the
Yes.
beauty
Yeah.
of it is Joker knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. But
Right.
he looks at it as when Batman puts on a mask, he's Bruce Wayne. His real identity is Batman. Like, he knows where the Batcave is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a game to him because he knows he's the other piece of the puzzle.
Now, how many DC movies have followed closely with the comic books? Any of them? Is that the?
I mean, they all-
Is
every-
that kind of the rip on DC? Is they don't really stick to comic book?
Not just
or-
that. I mean, there's a lot they do, like pieces.
Okay.
But they want to jazz it up all the time for theatrical value instead of keeping true to the story.
because I mean, Marvel's way better in this aspect, right?
Yes,
far
but
as
they still
following the arch.
take they still take liberties, but they're more true
Okay.
to the storyline.
They've obviously been way more popular these days too.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
True.
I mean,
And
the
the big-
Avengers game's kind of changing
Yeah.
things. The way
and
they
a big
introduced
fault,
them all.
in my opinion, was DC trying to copy what Marvel was doing instead of doing their own thing.
Okay.
Especially with the Zack Snyder issue.
Yeah, and then bringing in Joss Whedon, that was a horrible choice.
So Justice League,
Right.
Snyder started it, had
Yeah.
to leave the family. Whedon came in and took away the darkness
Yeah,
and
'cause
brightened it up.
Warner Brothers we want a Marvel movie.
but changed all of the progress. I mean, in Snyder's, Dark Side was going to appear,
And kill.
and it was going to be dark, and it was
Grimy.
gonna be gritty,
Right.
Yeah.
Just like
It was going to hit you
it
in the
was
emotions.
building up to, and then
'Cause-
he kind of took the other part of the movie and just changed it and put on the Marvel, which would have been fine if that's how it was original, but it all paced. The Batman with Ben Affleck, the Batman vs Superman was dark and gritty, and
The buildup of Superman and the Man of Steel, like him learning and becoming.
Right.
Then after this, he was supposed to turn into the Boy Scout Blue instead of the darker unknown. Like him coming back was supposed to be like, I see the faults. I see what I'm supposed to do now.
And as purists, which one do you guys prefer? Grimy,
Well,
stick to the comic book, or do you like the more
I will say
flashy
I was not
Hollywood?
a fan of Batman smiling or being intimidated by Superman.
and that was in the Justice League,
That was in Justice League.
and that was when Whedon took over.
Yeah.
I liked
Batman
the
doesn't show
Batman vs
emotion.
Superman, the grittiness, but
Yeah.
then in
there was
reflection,
there's some parts that I was just like,
Well, one of the big things that I overlooked in, I guess, wishful thinking of DC finally doing good
yeah.
was that Snyder had no problem having Batman kill.
He gave his reasons, but even then, Batman
but
doesn't
it
kill.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Batman's built upon the premise of he takes no life. That's
He doesn't
why he
use
doesn't
guns.
kill villains.
True.
He doesn't, yeah.
And then his justification when he came out with it, like, really opened up my eyes to, you don't really understand this character.
He's not a comic book guy. He's a storyteller.
It was a good story, but you're tainting the core essence of Batman.
Yeah, because like Tim Burton's probably not a huge comic book guy, but he's an excellent storyteller,
Yeah.
and he somehow managed to not one but two movies
And
keep the grimy and the
And in
and
Tim
they,
Burton's
they
thing,
bent the
Oh,
rules
yeah,
because
they
they
did.
shot, the Batmobile shot rockets and blew up stuff, and
right, but he
Again,
didn't kill.
theatrical.
there could have been
quote unquote,
injuries
there's-
in there,
yeah.
Right,
but
but not like what you're saying this other guy did.
correct.
Yeah.
So
Like
But-
it was risky enough with Snyder doing the branding, having Batman brand him, but I could
Yeah,
see
that was a bit
to put his mental state where it had to be to continue
on that edge, yeah.
okay,
One thing I will say about both of them, Tim Burton and Snyder, they both did a hell of a Bruce Wayne. And they both realized that they have to have a great Bruce Wayne if they want to have a great Batman.
so that was like Christopher Nolan's downfall, right? His Bruce Wayne
His Bruce
wasn't
Wayne
as good.
wasn't as polished. It was solid, but it
No,
wasn't.
wait, you're saying Snyder's Bruce Wayne was good, and
Yeah,
that was
Ben
Affleck,
Affleck's,
right?
yeah.
He can play the Playboy.
Okay, yeah,
He
you're
looked
right,
a
you're
little
right. The
too
Bruce Wayne
big.
aspect.
The Bruce
yeah,
Wayne,
okay,
yeah.
right.
The Batman,
the only con there was he was too damn
big.
big. I mean, even
But
in
the
those
suit
suits,
was like
It-
different.
Batman
right?
would
he
wear a
bulked
baggy.
up so much
Yeah.
that it was hard to hide it.
right.
Yeah.
That's where Bale was probably better at it because he was just a smaller dude.
But he was
But
still
his
in
Bruce
good
Wayne
shape.
was.
I wasn't a huge
questionable.
fan of his Bruce Wayne.
And as Drew and Mike would put it, he pushed his voice a lot.
Oh yeah, him and Nick Cage.
He'd have been bounced off that
I love
phone
how
call.
Snyder solved that with that little collar voice changing.
Yeah.
Instead of going, for me, it was just a digital aspect to it they had. And the white eyes.
Do
they
we
need
think
to do white eyes every fucking time.
this Joker movie? Do you think
Mm-hmm.
it's going to propel into other villain
Yes,
origin movies?
So they've gone on record saying it's not a part of the current universe of movies, like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and all that.
It's like an Elseworld.
It's an Elseworld. It's a standalone one-shot story.
Right.
That
It's a
may
money grab.
It's a money grab. It could be an interesting story.
Well, if you got Joaquin Phoenix and then you got Scorsese
Say,
on
yeah, they got
board, I mean,
big names.
Yeah.
and they're pushing it. But I do believe if this does well, it's going to put Warner Brothers at ease and make them put more attention into the other movies, especially with The Rock playing Black Adam to go against Shazam.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
a-
going to throw some money at that.
I'm a little bit concerned that if this does good, then they're just going to have
Focus on that.
too many movies out there that doesn't tie to one
A
universe.
continuity, yeah.
That's one of the issue. That's one of the pros that Marvel has.
It's all one story.
Everything ties into one long giant storyline. Whereas if they do this, where this, oh hey, you know what, this Joker movie did good. Why don't we do this other offshoot? Why don't we do this? And then they're just putting out character movies.
Because they're still going to do a
And on top of
30
that,
Seconds to Mars guy. What's his name?
Jared Leto.
Oh,
Jared-
yeah.
They're still doing a Joker movie starring Jared Leto.
And so they're going to have all this going on, and then they're going to still try and do a story arc where fans have to distinguish, don't include this, don't include this, don't include this, follow this.
And
But,
especially for
still go
non-comic
watch
book
these.
people.
It starts muddying the waters.
Yeah.
A little bit too much. A lot too much.
A lot.
Too
A
much.
lot too much. We're going to
Okay.
use two verbs.
Let's say hypothetically it does
Okay.
lead, excuse me, to other villain origin stories. Which one would you like to see next? In the vein of this new Joker movie, where it's an offshoot Elseworld, like you said.
Deathstroke.
Ooh,
Okay.
solid. I got
Deathstroke the Terminator.
I got two. Lobo or Two-Face.
Two-Face I kind of already did.
Yeah, but if they do a good one,
It was pretty...
It was
Good.
it was good inside the movie it was in. It was, but it wasn't its own movie.
it wasn't its own.
Right, but I mean,
Once
how
he
much more
turned
can
into
you-
Two-Face, you didn't see a whole lot from him as Two-Face there at the end because they had to wrap the movie up
Fair
and get
enough.
the Joker.
You got like 20
and-
minutes tops of like piece, or in a 20-minute span.
And once they blew up the hospital, did you see him again in the movie?
Not until the end.
Right.
When they
So
killed-
they could realistically go back and do like the movie starts when he turns into Two-Face and then his reign for X amount of months or years or however long he does
The
it.
issue you have with Lobo is the introduction of the character
Yeah.
and who do you put up against him?
He would almost have to be introduced at the tail end of a different movie, like
Truthfully-
somebody else's.
Truthfully, you know what should happen with Lobo is use the series Heaven and Hell.
Ooh.
Truthfully, if you're
Wow.
going to do that,
Trademark.
use the Heaven
Right
and
there
Hell
first.
comic book series where everyone tries to kill him, so
Yeah.
he gets sent to hell, and he loves it there, and he starts taking over, so the devil kicks him out to heaven, and God's like,
Right.
can't handle this, because he's like murdering angels and doing all this. So eventually, he's banned from heaven and banned from hell. And what happens when you're banned from heaven and hell? You're
Earth.
eternally alive.
Immortal, pretty.
He has a lot of other healing factors, and every time he
Perks, yeah.
spills a drop of blood, he reincarnates himself.
Yeah. He's an intergalactic bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And one of his
So-
things is like every time he loves fighting and all that. So when he does spill blood, it starts growing into another Lobo. So he goes around the universe tracking down all the other hymns and killing them.
Which, I mean, they eventually found a cure
way,
for that.
yeah, to get away
But
from
I
that.
think that
Would be an interesting.
I mean, because then you're kind of playing off the Hellboy-ish,
yeah.
and then you're going up to heaven, and you got that, and then it can be a standalone movie where it's mainly him, because I don't think there were any other maybe cameos of superheroes in there,
Yeah. There's cameos, but even he became more
But
of a
it can be
cameo.
but it can be a standalone.
That's true. Ooh, Bane would be a good one. Him growing up in the prisons.
What about if Hellboy dies at the end of his next movie to the hand of Lobo, and that's when the devil kicks him out? Like you could just to tie the two characters.
Two different companies.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Hellboy.
You said
Hellboy's,
Hellboy. I just figured they were together.
Yeah.
So you could also try and do something, because they're going to have the
For the listener,
Green
you can
Lantern
tell my ignorance on
Corps.
this subject.
They're going to have the Green Lantern Corps movie.
That would be
rumored.
cool if he could like pop in on that.
I think it would be interesting for him to do a cameo into there to introduce him, and then have his own.
Right.
true.
I mean, have him battle like Kilowog.
Oh my God.
That's a knockdown.
I'd go crazy. For the non-comic book people, they're like, I don't know what they're talking about.
How's it going?
You
John?
started this.
Yeah.
No, I did. I'm interested. I'd like to see the Penguin, but I didn't watch
That's
the
a
Gotham
good one.
show, and I know that was a key ingredient to that show was the
Yeah, he
young
was a focal
Cobblepot.
point.
Yeah.
I would like to see once he becomes Penguin, and like after the Batman Returns movie ends,
Because-
from there forward.
Yeah, because the Batman Returns movie really didn't do him justice.
It really didn't.
Because he's more like a...
Well, it was Hollywood,
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
It's Tim Burton.
But he's
Right.
more like...
He's what?
What you worded him as Batman without the...
Yeah, he's
He's
how
what everybody sees Bruce Wayne as.
But he
The
also
ugly
he has the intelligence.
millionaire. Yeah.
And he's a gangster. And he runs the underworld. I mean, he has the Iceberg Lounge.
Yeah.
And he's the known gangster. He's
Right.
like the Don.
Right.
There's a story arc called No Man's Land where pretty much in
Amazing series.
oh my God, they're doing it in the last couple Gotham shows, but I
Oh,
don't think they're
fuck
doing it
them.
justice.
No.
In
See, that's why I didn't watch the show.
in the last Nolan movie when Gotham gets shut down and they blow the bridges,
Mm-hmm.
that's from that storyline. So Gotham, it's its own island, and then all the villains take their portion of Gotham.
Right.
And then slowly work to...
United States disavows, becomes a no man land, no support, nothing goes
Batman's not there for almost a year. Like, there's nothing.
because he's Bruce Wayne out in Washington going, hey, come help my fucking city.
Yeah.
Right.
But nobody knows where he's at. But in this, they come to find out because they're seeing, like, people running around with fresh fruit, bags of sugar, random stuff. And they're like, how the fuck are... Like, a kid is running with, like, stuff. And they're like, how the fuck did that kid get that? So they start trailing him, and they see him go into the Iceberg Lounge. Like in Joker's turf. Or not Joker, Penguin's turf.
Mm-hmm.
So they go in there, and he's smuggling shit in to
That's
Gotham.
what he does.
Yeah.
Food, like...
He's like the
toilet-
Tony Sopranos of the DC universe.
Yeah. What you food, toilet paper, shampoo, clean bottled water. Like, he's bringing all this in, hush, hush. And he's
Right.
like, all right, you now work for me. Here's your portion.
Because you think of like an island like New York, and then you divvy that up. Here's Two-Faces.
Right.
Here's
Yeah.
Penguins. Here's Riddlers. Here's Killer Crocs. here's
Bane.
Bane. And then there's a little, Gotham police force.
Yep. And then there's a small, like, other gangs of just, like, street toughs.
And you could tie Mr. Freeze into because
like
of
Gangs of
Penguin,
New York.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like
it's like Gangs of New York.
Right. Trademark. That would be a good idea.
Oh, if they could do it.
Gangs of New York.
It would
with
have to
the
be
villains.
like it would have to be like a trilogy though, because it's such a
Yeah,
big story.
it'd be amazing.
There's one. There's a
Or
lot
like
of
a
them.
YouTube show or something where
Yeah.
they do like a weekly,
Oh,
kind
would
of
be-
like Gotham, but not
That'd be
as
badass.
Fox
or Netflix or something.
Yeah.
There's one part in
Hulu
it
would probably be
towards
DC
Batman.
Universe has their own.
Yeah.
They got
Oh,
a bunch
true.
of shows on
True.
there now.
At one point, when
Should've
Batman's
figured.
back and he's starting to get order, he's like, "Okay, I know what's going on in the city. I know everyone's and blah 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 blah." There's a Batman kind of set up a couple of gangs against each other to go out a big war. It's part of his plan. And out of nowhere, Superman shows up, and he's going to put a stop to all this bullshit.
Okay.
So Superman comes in, is pretty much, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Superman!" And Batman just fucking swings over and tackles him. And Superman's like sitting there with Batman on him, and he's like, "Get your ass out of here now!"
My city.
Yeah, he takes him off to a rooftop somewhere, and Superman's like, "Bruce, I'm just trying to help. I know this is really fucked, and it's your city, but I can help. I can stop this." He's like, "No, you can't. You would do this, 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 and this. By doing that, this causes this. These people die. These people die. This happens to them. This happens to them. They lose food. They lose this." He's like, "You will kill my city. Get the fuck out of my city." He just breaks it down, and Superman's like, "I didn't think of that." He's like, "I know you didn't think of that. That's why
Right.
you're here."
Bye-bye.
Right. Welcome to Earth.
And then people are kind of watching this, and they're like, "Oh shit, Batman's back!" And he's like, "And you gave me away." He's like, "My whole thing was."
This is a comic book story arc.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a long series, but it was amazing.
Now, in the comic book world,
Yep.
Gotham is New York, essentially.
Essentially,
Where is Superman? Is it Chicago or L.A. or do they ever specify?
It's weird because like you look
or
at
is it still New York?
you look at Justice League, and when they're talking about it, it's across the river.
in the movie Justice League, it was set up like Gotham was Oakland, and Metropolis was San Francisco. They're right across the bay.
Okay.
That's how it was in the
Alright.
movie.
But in the comics, they're a little farther
They're
apart.
they're further apart. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's they've left it so vague.
So
that
we need a new storyteller that's
we-
into comic book
All we know is
Oh,
it's not.
Kevin
neither
Smith.
of them are in Kansas.
or Oklahoma.
But it's kind of weird trying to figure out, like, based off the comic books, where each superhero in the DC universe is from. Like Green Lantern, Coast City.
Coast City,
Where would you put that? Because I think
Texas.
It's Texas.
Yeah, it's in the Gulf.
Okay, because I always thought it was Florida-esque.
No, it's
somewhere in
Gulf.
there. All right. Flash was
Key City,
it Key City? I don't think it was Key City.
Keystone, Key City. Almost positive.
Okay. And then trying to figure out, like, throughout the country where everyone is scattered.
Right, right. When you were talking about how Gotham turns into like the island with no support and each
It's
villain
Escape
has
from
its
New York,
own
yeah.
little section, that's when the video games started to pop with Batman Arkham Asylum and
Central City.
Central City. Sorry.
because that was like the key in the game was like you had to go into Gotham and it was all, blocked off and each villain you had to fight in different
Yep.
areas. So, okay, that makes sense.
To kind of trail off this and bring it back to our fantasy casting,
Uh-huh.
I got a question for Aaron.
Oh.
In the upcoming Green Lantern Corps movie,
Oh, Jesus.
it's been rumored. Well, they from what I've heard and read, it's going to be Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, and Guy Gardner.
Yep.
And the rumor floating around the internet is Hal Jordan is going to be played by Tom Cruise.
Horrible.
I would be
Well,
I would not be hugely happy with that
so
idea.
my initial thought is
The only
horrible.
person
Just
happy
'cause
with that decision is Tom fucking Cruise.
Yeah. You guys ever hear Scientology? We
I mean, I
predicted
get to wear
this.
spandex and play a god from space.
Well, see, if you can make him believe the Guardians of OA are similar to the leader of Scientology,
He'll be in it. Oh yeah, he'll be.
So
he'll be
my-
down.
He's already committed.
I don't
so.
really
Probably.
like Tom Cruise as an actor. I don't
No.
really. I mean,
he gets in good movies though.
right, but the issue I have is once I take my bias out of it,
Yeah.
Hal Jordan is one of the cockiest. No, he is the
The
cockiest
cockiest.
person in the whole DC universe. Tom Cruise can do that. He can do that well.
He can probably play that role.
The
Absolutely.
cockiness. I
Yeah.
mean, you think about risky business. You
Jerry
think about
Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. He has the mentality. I mean, granted, he's too short,
By a lot.
but they can fix that. But whereas Ryan Reynolds has the cockiness, but it was too much based on humor.
Yeah, they tried to make it a comedy, which
And Hal Jordan
Is
is
not
not
a
a
comic.
humorous guy. He's just a cocky.
It's like
guy.
having Batman smile.
Have you
Exactly.
Have you seen the cartoons? The like Justice League
the animated
movies.
Not to my knowledge,
they've done
no.
Hal Jordan
Well.
really well in there.
DC has not messed around with the animated movies.
And so while I don't like Tom Cruise, I think he's much better than Ryan Reynolds, even though I like Ryan Reynolds a lot better than Tom Cruise, only for the sheer thing that he can pull off the cockiness that Hal Jordan needs to have that is not humorous cockiness.
Yeah.
So I think he could do the role well.
Okay.
I just don't like him.
Now, to play off your rant and get back to what we were kind of off topic, who would you cast as Hal Jordan? Who would you cast as Jon Stewart? And who would you cast as your favorite, Guy Gardner?
Off the top of my head, Jon Stewart would be the guy from Watchtower or Hightower. Or,
Idris Elba?
yeah.
They just made him Deadshot. He took over for Will Smith.
Yeah, well, I'd fix that. Hal Jordan.
Because I know you've
I'm
had to
st-
think
I'm-
about this.
I really haven't.
That's surprising.
I'm stuck on the Tom Cruise cockiness now. I'm going to become a Tom Cruise apologetic. God damn it.
Ouch. Hear that, Scientology? He's
No.
ready.
Oh, man.
He's already filling out the check.
'Cause, I mean, I like Ryan Reynolds. I thought he'd do good, and then watch him. Granted, it was a bad movie, but just his characterization of him wasn't what I would put Hal Jordan at.
Yeah.
And then Guy Gardner, it's got to be someone a lot more grittier.
What about that Tom Hardy character? He seems pretty gritty in some of his roles, huh?
He would fit pretty well.
Would he? I don't know the storyline that he's.
You know, I didn't think about him, but he could pull that off because he has the potential to do the Guy Gardner humor,
Yeah.
and he has the
The
toughness,
serious,
and especially the temper.
he does, yeah.
Either that or maybe
Ooh, that was a good one. John.
maybe Charlie Hunnam.
No,
No, he doesn't have the
he doesn't. He's
anger.
too baby face.
Yeah, Guy Gardner's a much more grittier.
Okay.
Now, would you be happy or sad if they put the one punch in?
You're a motherfucker. One, Batman isn't going to be in the Green Lantern.
You don't know that for
I
sure?
do know that.
How?
Because I said so.
He trademarked it last week.
So one of the things about Guy Gardner is...
Well, you got to let him answer.
Well,
he graduated from Michigan.
He did graduate from Michigan.
Okay.
University of Michigan. He is a very...
Red Lantern.
You're not going to let me talk, are you? He's a very...
Blue Lantern.
About the Green Lanterns and the
White
cockiness of Hal Jordan.
He
He
was
is
yellow too, right?
Yellow Lantern.
He's been almost all of them.
He has been all of them.
Has he been orange?
Yes.
I know...
No one's been orange, but look
Hal.
where he's.
Hal Jordan has.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
God, I gotta get back in the comic
You really
books.
do. Anyway,
Me too.
the cockiness of Hal Jordan
But
is
he was an
just
alien once.
unmatched by...
He went by the Warrior.
He did. He
Yeah.
stole Sinestro's ring because he killed fucking...
He owned a bar.
He did. He still the Warrior. He still owns it. Anyway,
And here comes Lobo.
No,
Yeah, he did fight Lobo.
he did. He fought anybody. He
Yeah.
would fight. He would try to pick fights with Superman because he thought he was that much better than
He
Superman.
did. He was.
Bold move, Cotton.
Like he would walk up and use his ring and knock Superman like across the fucking stage. Just get the fuck out of my way. What do you call him, Boy Blue, or do you call him Soups?
Boy Scout.
Boy Scout.
Called him Boy Scout.
He would tear his ass, but he would always do that to Batman too. Like fuck you. You don't even have powers. Blah da 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 da. And then one day,
Crazy.
part of the Justice League International were like chilling, and he was talking shit to Batman, and Batman just standing still, quick wham, knocked out Guy Gardner, and all the
Sucker
others. You can call it what you want.
Clearly.
All the other superheroes in the room just start like, "Oh my fucking god, he did it!" Batman just pimps away, and everyone else is like crying, laughing.
World Star.
Exactly. Another superhero walks in the door and goes, "What happened?"
Black Canary.
Black Canary, and Blue Beetle goes, "One punch, one punch." She's like, "What do you mean one punch?"
She freaks out that she missed it.
Yeah, she freaks out, and Mr. Miracle tells her that like Batman just knocked out Guy Gardner in one punch because he was mouthing off, and she's like, "I missed it." She was very upset by it.
I say put it in
He's
the movie.
Moon Batman.
He has.
I'd put it in the movie.
Oh, when
It'd
he
be the
le-
last scene.
when
Well,
Bat-
if you're gonna put that in there,
Mid credits.
when Batman left the Justice League, he was on their space station. He was leaving, and everyone's like, "All right, thanks, bye, blah da 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 da."
See
Then
you, Bruce.
you hear a on the window, and you turn around. Guy Gardner's mooning him, and with his ring, he says, "Bye bye, bats."
but if you put that in there, you have to put the Hal Jordan in there too, because Hal Jordan cold cocked him and knocked out Batman too.
This is true. Guy Gardner didn't, but
They're a core. They're a team.
so Guy Gardner took one for the team, and Hal Jordan defended.
That's what you do.
Okay.
I like it.
Seems legit. Coming off of all of that, I
Yeah,
want
that
to
was
give
a lot to take.
A quick shout out to hashtag guy, not hashtag at guy in a chair. Right?
Yeah, Guy in a Chair.
He got his fucking tickets to the premiere of Avengers Endgame.
We are happy for him.
Shout out to you, sir. Good job.
Hopefully, his wife does get to meet Thor on that red carpet.
At this point,
She should
it
sit
has
next to
be.
him.
That
Oh,
will, yeah,
that'd
yeah, absolutely. And he should sit way up in.
Yeah. Pull a Jason Momoa. You ever see him with the fan pictures?
Yeah,
Where he like pushes the boyfriend
Yep.
off to the side.
those are like requested. People request that.
He's
shit.
like, I love that. It's funny as shit.
Speaking of him, like, does
Yeah.
Aquaman tie into a lot of the other characters, or is it more standalone-ish just because he's into water?
Depends on what story arc.
It really
Okay.
does.
He's
Okay.
a member of the Justice League,
But he's also king of Atlantis.
and he takes the ocean seriously, and that's first and foremost. He's come to a lot of confrontations with the land dwellers, as he
Yeah.
calls them.
Right. Okay.
The liberties they take in polluting his kingdom.
It just seems like putting him in that role, they should have like 2, maybe 3 more movies.
Oh, they will.
Ready to
don't
go.
They're on the way.
Aquaman and Wonder Woman are probably the only two that so far caught on. In
Right.
I think Shazam will too.
It has
That
potential.
guy's probably going to kill that role once we see the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
I think that's going to be the key in that movie is that actor they chose. Just because I now I've seen the trailer, I know who you're talking about.
I was surprised though because Rock isn't in that one, right?
He's not listed as a cast, but it's a rumor that he's an end credit.
And credit to start the next one.
Yeah, 'cause-
I was surprised they didn't put him in the first one.
Well, I think it's more like a build up.
Origin story.
Yeah. Because you got Shazam, and then you'll have The
Plus-
Rock doing the Black Adam standalone, and then Shazam 2, it'll be them two against
That
each
makes
other.
sense. Plus, he was doing the Faster and Furious or whatever.
Yeah.
with-
He's got that new TV show he's doing.
He's
I
got
think.
that. He's got
He's a
the-
busy man.
Yeah.
His new
Jumanji
tequila.
2.
Yeah.
His his Instagram, he's got to keep up with all them followers. I'm sure he's doing a lot of videos there.
He's a busy, busy guy.
And then his, weird friendship with Kevin Hart.
I love that.
Do you think now we've tried to write numerous things between the three of us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have
Constantly.
we have a Patreon thing that's been neglected for a while due to scheduling, but
Sorry, Patreon members.
Yeah, we're going to get back on track with that, no doubt. But do you think it's easier to write a movie script with the story arc already there for you, and you just have to tweak little things to make it your own?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you think there might be an easier
The way I look at it,
go about writing.
with the,
You know, like, I mean, I'm just like comic books specifically.
with the comic books, you already have the foundation, and most of these characters have been around. Like Batman,
They're already established.
Yeah, Batman just had his 80th birthday
Right.
of publication.
The fan base is there. You
Yeah,
just have to tap into it.
You have years and years and years of story arcs and
Which
history
gives
and
you
little
the
pieces,
guidelines.
which
Right.
gives you the foundation of whatever story
You know
wanna
what
mix.
characters can and cannot do.
Yep.
Okay, so we agree it's probably easier
A
to
lot of
try
the-
and write a script.
A lot of the puzzle is done for you.
Okay.
In the aspect of the creation, yes.
Yeah.
But when you're using characters like that, there's so much you have to adhere to
Because
make
the
sure to
fans
stay
will
true.
the fans will kill you in
They'll
a
eat you
heartbeat.
alive.
Yeah.
Number one.
I
That
mean,
and
what-
even the image that DC or Marvel, whatever company, wants to keep for that character.
Well,
True.
Kevin Smith said on one of his podcasts, he wrote one of the Batman stories. He wrote many of them, but one
Right.
of
Oh
them,
man, he did a script.
He's got
and
a
it was-
new one just came out.
yeah, Batman went into a house that was just erupted in flames, and so he had Batman wet himself,
Yeah.
and he got so much shit for it.
How
He's
dare
like,
you make Batman
Batman
piss his
wets
pants.
himself for going in, and he's like, listen, I know a lot of firefighters. And every one of them that I talk to says when you walk into a burning building like that, the first thing that you do is you wet yourself. Your body just
Yeah.
lets go.
I mean,
when you get that
Fear's a motherfucker no matter how you
not only that,
encounter
when
it.
you,
Fear,
when you
adrenaline,
hit that much heat
heat.
hits you, your body releases it as having wetness and water to contradict the heat. And he's like, it's just a
Makes
natural
sense.
thing. So it's normal. That's what every human would do when they face that. So I had Batman do it. Didn't think anything of it because I know all these firefighters. And the
The
backlash
backlash,
that I
yeah.
got. And so he didn't adhere to the status quo that Batman doesn't flinch in anything,
Right.
but he made Batman more realistic.
more human, more connectable.
But
Yeah.
people didn't know that that's a normal thing that happened while he did. He was like, in retrospect, I probably could have explained it a little bit better.
True. Like he could have told Alfred later when he was taking the suit off, "Hey, I pissed myself because that's the heat."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he
Just-
could have.
There's probably
yeah.
a scientific term for it that
Yeah,
he
right.
reused.
Something
and-
simple.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can run into little potholes and problems like that. Whereas when you're creating a character,
Mm-hmm.
you have open range, but you're creating every aspect.
Yeah.
We know on the
You're
Patreon,
creating those
every
details.
aspect of the mentality, the interactions, how they react, what they do,
You're
their
building.
mindset.
You're building the whole world instead of being thrown into the world and having to write a story within it.
And we basically attempted zero like sci-fi in our character creation. It was all basically just realistic.
And I think-
To our knowledge.
Well, yeah.
And I think my personal outlook is the sci-fi gives you more opportunity and more exits, more
because
excuses.
you can go into the unreal.
because you can go
True.
to the unreal a little bit and be like, well, it's
And you
sci-fi.
can even explain it however you want.
Yeah, you can
know.
maybe base it off reality, but put your little spin on it, and it's more acceptable because, all right, yeah, well, it's in space and they're on a different planet or what have you.
True. Okay, so it might be easier to write like that. Do you think it would be more fun as somebody who wants to create anything between the three of us? Do you think it would be more fun to try and write a story arc that's already there? Like you said, the puzzle is there; it's half completed. and
Play
you-
within a sandbox
and
or
you
create
just-
your own sandbox to play in.
Perfect. Which do you think would be more fun as a creator?
Building your own sandbox would be funner, but productive-wise, playing within something already pre-established sandboxes would be easier to get a product out.
On a different view of that, I think it's more rewarding to create your own sandbox.
I would agree.
I created all of this rather than
This is my world.
I made this story within this world.
But I don't know though. You could take, knowing that you could take those characters that are already pre-established and twist them slightly, much like this new Joker, where all this started, right? If you could take an already pre-existing character and spin it your way and then follow a story arc, but the character's a little bit different, Yeah, your fans are going to have a problem with it, like Batman pissing himself or something like that.
You'll never not have that playing.
Yeah, and I think for me, the fear and the stress of trying to live up to the character
would put
until I had confidence. The reason Scorsese can go through and be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do a Joker
He's
movie.
Scorsese.
Is he Scorsese? He's already been there, done that, created so much that he has the confidence. Whereas you give a first-time filmmaker that kind of reign,
Right.
I don't
Like, here,
think,
kid, do a Batman movie.
I don't think they can.
Yeah, like Christopher Nolan couldn't have done Batman if he didn't do Memento and,
Right.
and
Yeah.
them other flicks that he did earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the vast majority of people making like the superhero movies. I don't think any of them, this is their first flick that they're making.
No, they're all well established, either in
Because
featured like A movies, or they're done a lot like James Gunn. He did a lot of Troma, like B movies, like
And- until-
Slither and stuff like that.
until you
But he-
have that repertoire
and the
that
knowledge.
confidence, I don't think you can just jump right into that.
That's fair. A lot of insight. I like it. You know what I mean? It helps me because, like I said, I still want to write something. I think
I got 350 words.
I mean, our project is
A
what
day.
it is, yes,
Yep.
and it's. I don't want to say it's kind of writing itself, but it will. Just
will.
because of how realistic we've kept everything,
And
there
that's-
isn't any loophole we really need to worry about.
And that's kind of the cool
Right.
part when that starts clicking.
Yeah,
And you're like, oh, what? Well, this is happening over here, and if this guy's doing this has to like overcast on this area, and all the fun stuff. And you're like, all right, so now I have the parameters that I've already built by myself. It's just
And you know what? I'll even put it out there. I know the Patreon members have been kind of
not left out, but
left out. We
neglected?
kind of
Patient.
they've been
Patient.
patient. We kind
We
of made
thank
some
you for your
promises we
patience.
haven't held up to. So before this episode airs, I will put the 350 words I have put down out on Patreon.
well, we still have session 5. We could put that out first if you'd
Oh,
like.
do we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't air session 5 yet. So
All right, we'll put that out, and then
'Cause that was where we took our break.
that's
we
right.
recorded session 5 and then we went on our break to write
Winter break,
individually.
yeah.
So, I can have that. I'll email it to you
All right, then
tomorrow or something, and we'll get that up.
then we'll get that up around the time this posts or even before, so that we have something out there for you. And then if we can't get another episode done before then I'll put out the 350 words, if not more, by then, because we do appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely.
oh yeah.
I don't
but
think I
they
have
have-
quite 350 words.
But they have been getting their votes counted as doubled,
They
This
have.
is true.
Yep.
and they did swing one of the votes.
Patreon did help. Yep.
I can't remember which one, but I remember someone complaining on Facebook about how someone won in the wrestling bracket, and we're like, yeah, well, listen, Andre the Giant.
How he lost, yeah.
Yeah, know how he won. I think it was the first round when he
Oh,
won.
the first one we won? Okay.
Yeah, because if you just looked at Facebook and Twitter, you're like, oh, yeah, he lost. Like, nope, Patreon saved him.
Well, there's a good segue. Our next bracket, I think it's pretty much unanimous. We're going to go with album
Movie
covers.
post- oh.
Movie posters, is that what you're going to say?
Because it's unanimous.
I think album covers is a good one.
I think it's a solid one.
We should go there. Do we have any kind of direction at this point? Have you thought about it at all or no?
Vinyls only.
I wouldn't say vinyls only.
Like all music, any
yeah.
music, as long as it's a badass album cover?
Time frames,
there you
doesn't
go.
matter.
Nope.
Nope.
So how long are you going to let listeners submit theirs?
Should we give them a week?
Are you going to let them? Or since they've been kind of slacking in the submission?
Yeah, no, I think we should go back to our retro and get a big ass list and then randomly pick 32 out of that list.
Okay.
And then randomly assign them their, like let's go back to our roots with this one.
Because we would do another survey, but no one took the damn survey.
Yeah, we're not getting as much traction on that as we thought we would. So
So listeners, shame on you.
we just go back to doing it the way we did it before. Let's find some cool ass album covers and go from there. Sound like a plan?
How many are you going to put into the lotto?
Well, I'd like it to at least double it if possible. So 64 to start, and then we'll randomly select 32 and go from 32.
And in this bracket's going to be 32 rather than 16 because that was just a wee bit too short.
Yes, 16 seemed to roll by really fast.
Yeah, and it narrowed the field a little too much to where the upsets weren't quite there.
Yeah, it was all stars except for one, really. And I'm not
Mr.
even
Perfect?
Yeah, it's not that he wasn't a star. He was just
Too perfect.
compared to the other 15. That's all. But there's a lot more album covers too.
But if you do want to try and submit some, go to the Facebook group. That'd probably be the best place to post it.
Yeah, or just the Facebook page or the Twitter page. I mean, if you just post, a recommendation, we'll get it in there. Tell you, there's gonna be a lot of like metal albums because their album covers were always real flashy and a lot of pictures, bright colors and mostly red.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, it sounds like a good place to end the show there with you sniffing your bottle of Jared's mom.
Been a while.
We saved that one bottle for you, sir.
I do appreciate it.
Before we get out of here, we need to touch on the beer. I'm glad you did that because
Jared's mom.
we would have forgot. She smells so pretty. So why don't you do the honor, sir? You brought the beverage.
I did. I brought a little Michigan Irish Stout from Pigeon Hill.
Pigeon Hill Brewing.
Enjoy cold and often.
It's a 5.5% Irish dry stout.
Not bad. It's pretty tasty, I must say. I enjoyed the can that I sampled.
I enjoyed the cans that I had.
I enjoyed the can I got.
You do the math.
What do you give it on Untapped?
I gave it a 4. Solid 4.
4.
Solid 4.
Whoa.
It's one that you can drink. I feel every day. It's not. I was expecting something more Guinnessy, something a little more heavy, but it's more
Thicker,
like
yeah.
it's more like a Killian Red, as you
Killian's
said.
Irish Red.
Yeah. It definitely. I mean, it's not an IPA.
No. I think as far as Irish stouts go, it tastes a little better than a few that we've had.
Yeah, it's definitely not as thick. It's more on the realm of brown ale, in my opinion,
Okay.
Absolutely.
body-wise. I enjoyed it.
I'm going to give it a 3.25.
I gave it a 3.5.
The taste of Ireland dressed in black. Had a nice little leprechaun on there. A little late for St. Patty's Day, but
That's all right.
Yeah, it's still
it's a top-notch beer.
It's not out of date yet, so we're good.
That's all that counts. Now, I would say I would not put it on the shelf, although I do respect the packaging of the can.
I do like these types of labels a lot of the craft beers are going with.
With the smooth...
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like, I mean, I know it's just a sticker put over it, but it's a very basic but clean.
Well-designed.
Yeah. I
Has
do
a
enjoy
retro
it.
feel to it.
Yeah, I don't think it would definitely match up on the shelf,
No.
so we'll go ahead and not commit there, but
We should get Aaron's opinion of the members of the shelf. How he feels.
yeah. You got a front runner up there?
Do they stack up to the power of love? That's my question.
I mean, that was the best of last year.
Well, voting machine malfunctions.
Hashtag phone app.
It was proven best of last year.
So up there we got Electron Brown, Michigan Amber,
Got to get a closer look.
yep, Champion Brute, Liquid Vinyl.
Kingdom of Tonga.
How long's the owl one been up there?
I think he was the
beards?
fourth one on.
Yeah, it was early.
He was
that
early.
was probably before the turn of the new year.
Yeah.
we
Seems
had
an
one of
interesting
those.
choice to still be up there. It's, I mean, unique, but it's kind of plain.
It's basic. We're a fan of bird labels here.
We do like birds.
Birds and apparently fishing.
Birds, fishing, and
enough.
beer. The 3 Bs.
So the two front
Bears,
runners I have,
Beats, Battlestar Galactica.
I think the top two. What here? The number one bottle up there
Oh, right.
is definitely the Penguins.
We don't go bottle and can no more. It's just, that's why there's
Yeah.
only 7. It's
I
just
know,
straight
but it
label.
makes it a
But,
lot
right.
easier to go the number one can.
there
is
you go.
To answer your
Champions.
question, Armadillo from Beards has been up there since December 23rd.
It's been hanging.
Yeah.
All right. I'm torn between the Champions and the Penguins.
Oh.
Those are probably the front runners.
Champion Brute, you like that label?
Absolutely.
That's
That was
good
the
label.
first one on the shelf.
I know.
Yeah,
I,
it
chose,
was
I chose
restarted.
good.
Yeah, it was good. That's why you're picking it?
Yeah, that is why
No,
he's
it's
picked
just
it.
That's
solid.
bias as hell.
That is.
Electron Brown's a cool fucking label.
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
It reminds me of Bison and Street Fighter.
Yes.
Can't deny that.
And Michigan Amber reminds us of our grandfather
This is
in
true.
a boat fishing. So, there's
Yeah,
throw a
let-
little bias that way.
Let that one hit you. Yeah.
Let that soak in. No, but it's good. I mean that you're picking Champion Brute because it's not in our top 3. I don't think.
No.
I think it was
Oh,
4 on
It's
your
4.
list.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. The number one I picked last time won, so
Yeah, but not by popular vote.
good thing we do electoral college here.
Zing. Well timed.
Well, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to end the show right there. That's how we go out. Shout out to Pigeon Hill though.
That
Good
was
beer.
a really good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't bring any duds to the table other than
No,
True. When you
Jared's
come over,
mom.
you do bring
I
good.
do believe you are the only two that have not enjoyed the Jarrett Mom.
surprisingly, I think we are the only two.
So I think your statement is false.
Ah, no,
as I
no.
take a sip. Of
Biased, but not false.
If we went by popular vote, I think you would lose.
Good thing we do the electoral college. At least it's not foaming over like some other beers we've had.
At this point, I'm tempted to put Jared's mom on the shelf just as a
talking point.
Yeah, just to bring
the
it
gatekeeper,
in,
if you will. You got to get past
still a
Jared's
solid
mom.
label.
It is.
It is.
Tardy ass beer, but it's a solid label. Have you been keeping up with the craft beer bracket?
I believe so.
I heard about that. I haven't even checked it out yet.
They're down to Elite Eight.
Are they?
Odd side
All
is
right.
barely losing in their matchup.
Who are they going against?
Man, you're gonna put
Is
me
it a
on the
big
spot.
name or
I want to say it's Perrin, but I don't think that's right.
Barron's got
New
some good
Holland, maybe.
Oh, I'd vote
No,
for
I
New
think
Holland
I
all
think
day.
New Holland's going against a number 1 seed. I don't know. I'd have to look.
I will say Founders is getting an easy ride, though.
We can't vote, right?
Yeah.
Vote.
No, you can vote.
You
I
don't.
thought you said voting was only in the first round.
No. You don't fill out a bracket pre.
Oh.
It's you vote per round. So
Similar
you go
to how we
through-
do brackets.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. Minus the filling out a prediction. There's no
Right.
predictions. It was just vote along. That's all. But they're averaging 1,200 votes per beer.
Yeah, they're getting a great
So it's,
response.
Shit. It is the free press.
Yeah.
You would hope they get a little
Right.
bit of a interaction.
Hope so.
It's going to end up being Founders against Shorts.
Guaranteed.
That's going to be the finals right there. Unless Bell's squeaks by Shorts.
I think.
So when do we do one of those?
the craft beer.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to.
I mean, obviously, you got to wait a little bit to follow up this one.
Yeah.
But at least if you wait till maybe, end of the year,
We might have a better.
in the fall,
We
you
could
can do it,
yeah,
and
like
then you can
August.
compare.
Yeah.
Because how many, did they have 64 or 32?
64.
64.
Yeah.
So then we could probably do 64 also. But
I don't know because
I would like to do ones we've already had.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is
we would have to do 64 beers, not breweries.
Yeah.
Because we've had like Shorts 4 or 5 times. We've had Bell's 4 or 5 times.
do we have any idea how many breweries we've had?
We've had? No, I haven't.
We could do the math and let you guys know
Yeah.
on the next show.
A little research.
I'd
We'll probably
appreciate
find that
that.
answer.
I mean,
Just out of curiosity.
is that
how-
including the missing shows? Dead.
See, that's the thing is I don't even remember some of the beers from them couple of shows because
I remember
they didn't
couple
get
of them.
cataloged
Yeah.
officially,
Ah.
so
I was just wondering how close we were. Because, I mean, going up into the fall, if you're only
I would say we're in the 20s.
10 beers away. Oh,
we don't have a lot of breweries that we have
That's
access to
yeah, because-
distribution-wise.
Like Beards, we have to go out to Jackson if we want to get that.
Yeah, we got lucky with that.
We got some friends.
That was the second
maybe
Beards.
next year.
It was.
Maybe next year,
Yeah.
yeah. If we
'Cause
could
I-
spend the summer this year getting some stuff.
I think we can do some road trips this summer.
Well, we could go beers though. We could nominate individual beers. But then, see, that's the thing
That's
is
tough,
the
then.
people
That's
voting
biased.
if they haven't
Had that
tried
beer.
them.
Yeah, it's where it's easier to go with the
Labels. We could go beer labels. That could be our little hook.
Go our beer pictures. We got options.
Oh, what if we do our Funko picks?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. All right. You said beer. I didn't know because we didn't do Funkos the whole time. We were doing beers before, remember, with
That's true.
the
Yeah.
little business
Yeah.
card. So,
Yeah, but you wait till about fall. You should be close
Decent collection. Yeah.
'Cause you got to have at least 30 of them now.
I think so.
Let's see, when did you jump in?
8, but we didn't start Funko picks until 20-something.
Yeah.
Well, then you got 50
We're close. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting close. We could probably do Funko picks.
in the fall.
And the newer ones are obviously going to be better.
They are, yeah. Putting a little bit more effort into those.
Check us out on Instagram, CHC_podcast for all of our Funko picks, and Twitter at Corner HC Podcast, and Facebook, Corner House Chronicles.
Join the group.
We also are on Patreon. Don't forget about that. Double Votes, our side project.
We'll post
Possibly a new side. I mean, we might not writing, but something else. Who knows? We'll figure some more content out.
They don't know it's writing.
Well, they do now. We talked about it earlier.
But fair enough. That's right. So we'll post something
Couple days.
a couple days.
Yeah.
It should be up before this is up.
Yeah. By the
I'd
time
say
you
that.
hear this, if you're interested, you can sign up for Patreon for as little as $1 a month and have access to. Or was that the $5 level? No, $1. Okay.
Dollar.
$1 a
And
month.
and the double votes in the brackets matter. It swung.
It changes it.
It did change it a little bit. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the answer of how many of the Instagram Funko Pop beer pictures we have is 52.
Okay. So 12 more, and we're there.
This fall. Coming this fall.
Coming this fall.
right around episode 100.
Should release it episode 100.
We could do that because that would give us actually a couple extra before we get to 100. Yeah,
I like it.
I'd like to pose a question to the listener if we could get any kind of fucking interaction whatsoever out of you people.
What do you need?
That would be great.
Show 100. Should we do the poker game or watch the football game?
Or if you have an idea.
Or if you have a third option, write in candidate. Give us that too. So are we good?
We're good.
Episode 77.
Lock it down.
All 3 hours.
I know.
Not necessarily.
You don't have to tell them that.
No.
You work hard editing it down.
That's Patreon content, buddy.
Coming this fall.
For $1. So thanks again for stopping by and bringing some killer beverage.
My pleasure.
Thanks to the listener. And we'll see you next time.
78.
Sayonara.
Oh, those ears.